How you going, guys? Welcome back. So this will be, I think I'll be video 77. We've got quite a bit of footage from yesterday. By the time I finish editing it, which I'm sort of part way through, I think this will be video 77. So yeah, it's been pretty cool. So I'm a wee bit worried about this glue. I was just having a wee feel of it before I turn the camera on, and it still feels like there's stuff that's sitting on top. Just turn the camera around to show you. Hold on. Top here, it's still it's a bit gummy. Like, it's not hard, which makes me a little concerned because it's been quite cold. Like, it's only like a few degrees above freezing. Like, this is still very tactile, and I'm a bit unsure of letting this go, to be honest. As much as I'd love to put another one on here, I think because of the temperatures and the kind of glue it is, it's a bit of a pain because I'd like to set another one up, but I'm inclined to not pull it because I just don't think this glue's set enough. Like, if this was really hard on top, you know, and you couldn't do that, I would let it go, but yeah, it's just too gummy for my liking. I would have thought that would have been like a real hard wall, but it's not. I think, like, if it was summertime, I reckon that would have been hard as, but because it's winter and there's not a lot of heat in here, especially at the moment, like, it's bloody cold. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Just trying to have a look, just see if there's anything, what sort of temperatures and stuff. Doesn't really say much about temperature. Bond. It's got a maximum temperature range that you can use it in, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I don't know. My other concern is like, it says on there it takes 7 days to cure. I don't want to leave this here for a week. That's my other problem. It'd be a real pain in the ass to have to leave this here for a week just so it cures, if you know what I mean, and doesn't move, and it actually becomes rigid. I'll come back here. Righto, guys. So what we've done, the owner and I, we pulled a couple of clamps off this corner, basically to where it started curving around. We pulled the first 3 clamps off, one's still off, but it actually started trying to spread the timber there in that corner. It actually, when I first pulled this clamp off, or the end one, it hardly even moved, and I thought, oh yeah, sweet, it looks like it might be alright. As soon as we took the other 2 off, it just kept coming out and out and out and out, and it was actually starting to open up. So what we're going to do, we're just going to leave it there all weekend and see what happens. But I think we're going to go to a different glue because we just don't want to be waiting days and days and days for something to glue up. We can get something that can cure in 24 hours type thing, and then we can let it go, and it basically stays there. You know, if we have to put like a small ratchet strap or something around the 2 ends, just to sit there for a couple of days while we do another one, that's fine. I don't mind if it has to maybe sit there with a strap on it just for a little bit of tension between the 2 ends, just to stop it from spreading till it fully cures. But if we can let it go and it basically doesn't move, and we can just put maybe a strap on it just to hold it in so it just doesn't spread type thing, that's fine. But yeah, we undone that, and it was basically, it would come back out to here. It was out here easy, you know, and it was starting to actually open the layers. So, and I put the glue in there pretty thick. Whether it was thick enough, I don't know. That's the other problem, because it's an unfamiliar glue. If we use, like, you know, the white PVA wood bonding glue that you would glue timber together with, like laminate timber together with, if you're doing furniture and stuff like that, I think we put a good smear of that on, possibly even both sides, slap it together, both sides slap it together. I think that might be the way to go. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll leave this over the weekend. So come back Monday and undo it. If I think it's trying to do the same thing Monday, I think we'll just have to scrap that one and start again. Yeah. But you don't know until you try something, and that's also why you said we didn't buy a heap of that glue. You know, like that liquid nails type stuff is normally pretty good, but it just mightn't be right for this application, if you know what I mean. But maybe if you left it there for a couple of weeks because of this temperature, and it might get really hard and stay there, but I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to make another tapered tube the same as that one. I've got to shorten this up to here because I made them a little bit long, so I wasn't sure how the ends were going to form up. But they're quite nice and straight. Like, I was actually expecting that to be a wee bit more ugly by the time we'd squeezed it on. I thought it might have been a bit peaky or something like that, you know what I mean? But sometimes when you fold something in on itself, you all of a sudden you get a, you know, like I thought it might have been peaked in because it's coming in a shorter distance. I knew the far end would be okay, but I was thinking the short end, it might depend on how short the length of the tube is. But I thought it might have, as it come in, it might have come in like that and sort of like peaked in. And I thought, well, if I leave it a little bit long, then I could just trim it off and we can square it up so it looks nice. But yeah, it hasn't really done that. Whether it does that on something really short, I don't know. But I've got another one to make this length. And then I've got two others about, what are they about? About that long instead of that long. And then there's a couple of more shorter ones. One for that middle, for the two middle bows. The front ones are about 500. But there's going to be quite a bit of that steel bar hanging out. I could make it longer, but there's quite a bit of the steel bars going to be hanging out. But yeah, I don't know. I could make it longer and just close it in a little bit. I might take that actually over there, just see how it looks for maybe one of the other ones, just to see. It looks like it tapers down quite a lot, and then it's about the same size quite a wee way. The one that comes right from the front. So yeah, I don't know. Just looking at the photos, it looks like that's why I thought I'd make it a bit shorter and just use a bit of that steel bar for quite a distance. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's, yeah. If I was there, I could see exactly what was going on. When you're going by photos, it gives you, it gives you quite a lot of information, but sometimes being there, actually seeing it yourself and having a good study around can make a difference. I'll just flip the camera around, hold on. Yeah, so what I'm talking about is this is the one that goes to the front where the posts are, you know, like the posts and then the bits and pieces. So this looks like it's a fairly, it is tapered, but it looks like from about here on, it's a very similar size, and then it's this end of it's sort of squashed and bent up, you know, it's sort of almost a 90 here. But I'm just thinking from about here back, it looks like it's sort of the tapered tube, and from here forward it's it's a bit more consistent in size. So yeah, I thought if I make it a little bit shorter and then just blend the tube into the steel, yeah, and then obviously flatten this piece off a bit and pull it around and drill a hole in it. Yeah, so we're talking about this here. So I need to make the tube from about here, because the rest of it's wood, you know, around, and then to about here, and then I thought the rest of it I'd make in a steel tube. So we're talking, I don't know whatever that is, about 6 inches will be the steel part. So basically this comes along, and then here it sort of does a hard 90, whereas I just sort of kicked it because it was just easy enough to do that in this stuff that sort of bends. But this will be quite a hard 90, so I'll obviously heat it up with, you know, with the gas and bend quite a 90 in it. I don't know, that might be a bit of a, I'm just looking at that might be about an inch. I'm guessing it might be a little bit more than that. I'm just, you know, it looks like it's about that sort of inch mark, so bend it, then yeah, give it quite a hard bend, and I'll flatten it down to about that sort of thickness, or maybe a little bit less type sort of thing from that round bar. Yeah, sort of just to that last piece, I'll, you know, flatten it off so it's quite a nice flat piece through here. So yeah, it'll just be a matter of playing with it, obviously. But yeah, I'll heat it and bend it and flatten it off. So yeah, like, you know, this will be quite nice once it's flattened off. You know, hopefully I've got enough bar there. If I need more, I'll just go get some more. Like, it's no problems. But yeah, so I'm thinking. I'll use my tape measure. Once I set the chop saw up here, it's nice and easy there. So I need about, I'm thinking, if I make this tube, so we go from here to about here. So I'm thinking about 500. I reckon if I make it a neat 500 millimeters long, or whatever that is in inches. So that would be 8, 4, 8, 16. Must be about 20 inches long, just to give these guys a, you know, a cross reference to guys that are a bit more used to working in inches. So about 20 inches long will be the probably the next one. And these pieces here aren't quite long enough, so I'll use them for some of the shorter tubes. This one here might be long enough, because that was the one I actually had to play with for a little piece, just to see how it made that little small roll, just when I played with it. Let's see here for a minute. So we measure this anyway. So yeah, this is actually slightly too long, so I'll use that for one anyway. We'll hold that up against there, just to get an idea, because that looks quite short, but probably when you hold it up here, it's probably not that bad. So yeah, that might be even alright, but yeah, that might be even alright, because that still gives me plenty, you know, it still gives me a good 6 inches out the front, or thereabouts, of the just the straight pipe or straight steel bar. And then obviously the rest of it will be wood. This bow will have to be deeper than the other ones I've made. I think all the rest of them don't need to be quite this long. I'll need to double check a few measurements, but I'm pretty sure this is the only one that needs to be a bit deeper, because it's going out the front more. Because it comes out the front here 75 mils, whereas all the other ones would, you know, it would be in here. So we've got that extra, you know, 2 inches out the front. So it needs to come back, and it comes back about 200 from this corner, or about 8 inches before it goes into this tube. You know what I mean? So this is sitting about here somewhere, just to give you an idea. But yeah, so that's where we're at the moment. I'm just, yeah, I'll make some more tapered tubes up. And but I wanted to get a couple of bows going and then sort of start piecing them together, just in case my measurements weren't right. But I think I'll be close enough, and we'll better jiggle and make everything fit. But yeah, so I'll get a couple of these tapered tubes made this morning. Yeah, and we're just going to have to leave that cure over the weekend. I rested today and tomorrow, and then hopefully maybe Monday morning it might stay there and stay together. If it doesn't, yeah, we'll just start again. I've actually got enough for this timber. I haven't got it ripped down into the strips, but I got enough for it ripped down into the pieces to make those. I got a few extra pieces over there, so if I have to rip some more down, we'll have to rip some more down. But yeah, it's one of those things you just don't know. Anyway, we'll carry on. You see these tapered tubes, once it's sort of squashed, obviously to about the same width as what this is, that white width, so it'll be squashed, also it'll grow wider. This is going to be obviously shaped and trimmed down, so yeah, they're only about 40 mils wide like I said, but I've allowed a 45 to give us a bit of meat, so hopefully we get a reasonably clean looking thing, even though it's going to be covered, but I still want it to look nice. This will be squashed and squared off a little bit at the ends, possibly be squashed a fair way back, and by the time it gets to the end it won't be sort of squashed at all. So yeah, that's about what the tubes are going to look like. Obviously the one for this is the big fat wide one, but it will taper down to that quite quickly and then slide in there. So yeah, that's cool. Pretty happy with that. A bit gutted with this, but hopefully with an extra sort of 48 hours of curing it might be okay. It would be nice to be able to use it, but I think we'll change glues and change tacks to put it together. Same principle, but yeah, we'll just use something else, I think, because if it's going to take that long to cure, it's just a pain. That's going to take a couple of weeks to get the bows made, type thing. Yeah, these here look good against the car too. They look at, proportionally, I think they from the photos, I think they look pretty good. So that will sit, I don't know, somewhere about there and up here, and then obviously you got the other piece over the back. It's hard, I wish I could sort of stand back a little bit further for you guys so you can kind of see what I'm sort of seeing. But yeah, I'm just holding it back, hopefully you can see that alright. But yeah, no, it's cool. I think that's going to work nicely. Yeah, I can't wait to get these pieces a bit more together and get a bow on them, and then sort of just hold, prop it up there and have a look and just see if we're happy with things. So yeah, this one. Let's go back to some of those other photos for a minute. Just see if I think. Yeah. So here we go. If I just zoom that into that a little bit, move that down in. I think we're, for what that looks like there, I think that's, if we hold that back up there, it's about that right sort of size. It looks pretty damn close. Yeah. I'm pretty wrapped with that, eh? I'm pretty wrapped with that. I think these are going to be really, really, really close. Really close. Yeah, I think it's going to be quite nice. I think it will work really, really well. I think the average person, if they didn't know, and parked a couple side by side, one with the original, one with what we build, I think they would, without looking really, really hard, at a basic glance around inside the vehicle, they probably wouldn't tell that one wasn't original, one was, if you know what I mean, without looking at the real nitty gritties. But yeah, I'll get it as close as I can, so that's cool. I think we'll leave it here for today. I can probably do a little bit more, but I'm not really. I'm only going to get part way through something before I've got to head home anyway. But yeah, I just want to do a couple of hairs here today since I've been here a bit more during the week. Like, I could spend a lot more here, but I wouldn't mind spending some time at home as well and get a few other things done. And well, hopefully you would have seen this afterwards probably, but hopefully later on this afternoon, or which will be Friday evening in the States, should have done hopefully a podcast sort of live with Arco and Heidi. We're going to try and do that regularly if we can get things to work properly. I've never done I've done plenty of two-person video calls, but with doing a live at the same time, that could be interesting. I might have to set my phone up or something else up to just catch the messages coming through, I think. It's going to be interesting. I might have to set something else up so I can read the comments coming through. Actually, I might take the laptop home and set it up so I can read the comments off that, and just so it's a bit easier with having the two screens, and then obviously trying to read the comments coming through, or the people talking and stuff, so we can answer them. But yeah, that'll be pretty cool if that works. Hopefully. I'm sure by the time you've seen this, you would have known or not. But yeah, so hopefully that works. Morning, guys. How you going? So welcome back again. This is Monday, so I'm about to pull this off and see how that worked. That live went quite good, I think, with Heidi and Arco. I think because it was their first one, and my first one doing it's about seeing both of us and me talking on a live. It was I was a little bit, I wouldn't say lost, but I was so busy sort of listening to them that I wasn't really concentrating on. I was trying to read what people were asking, bits and pieces on the side, but it was very easy to get distracted on what they were listening to and then not looking at that. And then I was like, if you're looking at that, sometimes it was hard. I haven't done it enough to get used to it. And sometimes I sort of got lost listening to these stories, and then I'd sort of make a few comments and bits and pieces, and yeah, I'd think of something to talk about while they were talking about a story, you know, to something that was very related, but by the time they got to the end of the story and we'd sort of change subject, I'd forget about it, and yeah. So I think as time that goes on, that'll get better. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that again. Hopefully we're going to try and make that a reasonably regular thing, and we might throw some other people in the mix too. I think we're going to try and do it together as much as possible. If that suits the two of us, it'll probably be at a similar sort of time on a similar sort of day. It'll probably be either, I'm guessing, sort of like that Friday night, Saturday of in America, or the sort of Saturday, Sunday here in New Zealand and Australia and sort of thing. Because we're sort of that day ahead by the time you go around the world. So yeah, we might, if we did it on a Sunday my time, we could do it early in the day, because I'm not likely to be out doing anything else unless it happens to be summertime for us and we're out at car shows or whatever. But yeah, so that'd be cool to do that again. I think we've got some other glue to do some more of these, so hopefully this might be faster drying. I'm not 100% sure. I think this might be a little narrow. I had a wee measure up the other day, so I made it 1500 wide. Probably should have made it 1500 to the inside, not the outside. Because the very front one's 1500 wide, and that's sort of what I was thinking. I thought I'd just make them all the same, but I might have to make one at 1500 at the outside and then make the rest 1500 on the inside, which just pulls it out back out to about 1580, which I got the rest of that steel at. So I did a quick measure up the other day, and I think it might be just a little bit narrow, because the body at the hinge point is about 1460, I think it is. So like we're only left with about 40 mils, which is, this isn't quite that on the inside, if you know what I mean. Like it's almost too narrow on the inside. So we'll see how it works when it all folds up. But yeah, we might have to play with it. What we'll do is we'll make another one. It needs to be a little longer than here, because I realise that that's got to come back further than the rest before it goes into the steel. Like with that. It might be alright, but it's borderline, if you know what I mean. It probably needs to be out to here fully solid, not in here fully solid. So, you know, probably 50 mils, a couple of inches short. So yeah, we'll have to play with that a little bit more, I think. One of those decisions, just sort of think, oh, you know, that'll work. We'll just make them all 1500. Whereas I sort of made those 1580 on that second adjustment. I probably should be a little bit closer to that, because I thought maybe that might have been a little bit too wide too, but then it wasn't. So sometimes, you know, when you make a mock-up and you're looking at that skinny stuff, you sort of think, oh, that'd be right, but then I've forgotten that it's all of a sudden, it's not, you know, ½ inch or 15 mil tube. It's now an inch and a bit wide, you know, or thereabouts. So, but over an inch wide. So yeah, it makes a difference. But anyway, and plus it's got to be a certain amount out from the body to be the right width. So yeah, I sort of overthought it, if you know what I mean. So you need to go back to closer to what those widths are for the back three bows. That's all right, because we haven't really cocked anything up, because all I got to do is remake that front one, that width, and then it's not hard to undo some screws and shift the corner pieces out, you know, an inch each side type thing. Like we only made one, and we're not 100% sure if it's worked properly anyway, so we haven't really lost anything. So I'm going to take this off, and we'll see how we get on there, and then I might make it the end of this video, and I'll start the next one, because I've got about 20 odd minutes of footage already from Saturday anyway, so that I've made up. So I'll pull this off, and I may just pull it off now and see where you get on. So I'll undo it, because yeah, I don't want to really leave this on here for any more days. It's been on here since Friday, so we're now into the 4th day if you know what I mean. So surely, because it's had all day, well, half of Friday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and we're now, whatever it is, you know, early mid-morning Monday. So it's been on here instead of 3 and a bit days. So ish. Full time, you know. So we'll pull this off and have a look. Yeah. So but it looks more dry now though too. That stuff is definitely harder by a long shot. It's not that gummy feeling. It might be fairly solid, but it's just a time frame. Yeah, it feels quite strong. It's the time frame to glue it up. We don't need to run the waiting, you know, 3 or 4 days before we make one. When it's top made. It's definitely working. That was excess. That was to help hold this piece in. Because I had a join there. Definitely working. Definitely working. I might better use it for the front bar. We'll work it out. It won't matter if I make the steel tubes a little bit longer either. That wouldn't matter. I don't think it would be that big disaster. So, yeah, I don't know if this corner's worked as good as that one. Work. It's definitely, it's flexible but strong. So that's cool. That is cool. See it. That's good that they can answer that. What we look at. So I've got, at the moment I've got actually unfinished timber, like that was the edges, because I thought that was an easy way to use the edges up, because it's got to be sanded and all that sort of crap anyway, so it's not going to matter. I didn't think it would matter if it was the outside pieces were the unfinished piece to just save timber. So this piece hasn't glued terribly well in here either, just seeing that. I don't know if you can see that or not in here. It's pulled away a little bit. But like it's not to say that I couldn't run some glue in there and just, you know, it would help clamp up. And that corner isn't. So when we let it go the other day, it might have been just enough to upset that, but we can run some glue in there too if we use it and just let it cure. But it looks like it's done alright. Like it's definitely worked. Obviously needs some trimming and some shaping and whatever, but yeah. We'll call that a semi-success, eh? Might have to get a little bit neater with the stacking when I didn't push it down obviously hard enough there at this end, because it's not sort of stacked very well, but again it doesn't matter quite so much because it's wider than it needs to be, and it needs to be trimmed down anyway. But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, at least I know that works, so it's just a matter of getting it, the next one's better. Alrighty, I think we'll do some more on the next video. So thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate yous all watching. I've gained a few subs too since the live on Saturday my time. So that was cool. Much appreciate the extra viewers now and stuff like that. May they keep coming, because I would love to get over that 1,000. The other thing too is I said that when I was going to get over 1,000 I bought that PC case. Because the circumstances have sort of changed, and at this point in time I don't know when I'm going to get to America. So I'm still going to give that case away, but I think what I will do is when I go to the States, if I go to the States, we might give it away then. But if things improve, my financial situation, all those sorts of things get rolling, then I'll, if I don't go to the States, I'll give it away and I'll build myself another one. I might see if I can find myself a Dodge grill or a Plymouth grill or something like that and build something out of that, like off a truck or a Fargo or something like that, and build one. I actually quite like those. I think it's like a 46 around that sort of era. Be quite cool to build one in. So yeah, I'll still do that, but I think I'm going to delay it. I was going to give it away at 1,000 subs, but I might change that plan a little bit. So if I go to America, I'll give it away, or when things become a bit more financially free and I can afford to sort of build another one, if you know what I mean, because it cost me probably $500 to build it, or thereabouts, with bits and pieces that I put into it and having to buy materials and stuff. So it wasn't terribly cheap. Like, you could have went and bought quite an expensive case and quite a bit out of gear to go on it, or I could have even upgraded my computer, like the actual internals with it. So, but anyway, it's cool. I love it. The only thing I probably find a little bit annoying with it is it does collect dust pretty quickly, but it doesn't seem to be too bad because it's got so much airflow. It doesn't seem to worry it too much. But you just got to clean it out regularly, because it's got no real filtration. But yeah, so that's that. We'll call it there, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.